Good afternoon, everyone. Very excited to bring to you this afternoon a slightly different feel to the Industry Leader Live conversations. I'm delighted to be welcomed by Doug Greenwood, who's the Director of Sales and Marketing at Cheval Collection in London, and is the Chairman of the Association of Service Department Providers, my boss, I need to say, and also Evelyn Haran, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Prem Group UK, and the Premier Suites Brand Standards Manager for Europe, who is about to become my boss and the first woman chair for the ASAP, delighted to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. It's great to have you.
Thank you, James.
What I wanted to do was to sort of set the scene in terms of what we do normally in a September, but we've had a few challenges over the last few months. We would have an opportunity to welcome all of our members to the September business meeting. And of course, because we can't bring people together at the moment, we haven't been able to do that. But what we are keen to do is to continue doing all of our networking opportunities and online Industry Leader Live scenarios. So today I wanted just to sort of introduce Doug, as we've talked about for a long time. Doug is the chair of the ASAP. So Doug, you've been with us in that capacity for the last 18 months or so. I wanted to personally thank you for all the help you've given me and the ASAP team over those last 18 months. Tell us a little bit about it, if you would, and your thoughts and the experiences, the highs and lows, and where we are now as a point of reference from where we started, or where you started 18 months ago.
Certainly a lot of highs, James, and certainly a great pleasure working with you and the team, which has been brilliant. Gosh, yeah, time really has flown by, and I have to say that some of the real highlights for me were the sort of handover period actually from Richard Whitaker, and meeting up initially actually with the team in terms of the board of members for CHPA. And I have to say it's been an absolute pleasure working with Marianne Plessy, and just really the context of this really was that we were looking as an association at the time at extending really a global alliance. And CHPA certainly represented many of the values held dearly by many of the ASAP members. And it was a really nice conversation to be having. And I know, James, you were very keen on how can we broaden our reach and broaden the ASAP visibility. And I think that also tied in very neatly actually with a meeting that took place with the Association of Singaporean Service Department Providers. And again, we made some really good traction there, and we met up with great supporters in terms of Fraser and also Ascot with those teams actually on the ground there. So the aspiration, I think, with that alliance to pull in also potentially other like-minded, strongly like-minded associates and associations in Europe. So to look at certainly down in Spain and in Portugal, and more recently, I know that we're working on the Dutch chapter, but to pull them in. I think ultimately that was a great goal to have, what seems a little bit of time ago, but a great aspiration for us as an association to pull like-minded groups together. So yeah, we sort of hit the ground running actually, doing a little bit of traveling, which was very nice, particularly compared to what we're doing at the minute. And at the same time, one of the great eye-opening situations is how ASAP operates a really effective convention. It's our key annual event, and pulling together so many talented individuals, keynote speakers, people very willing to give their time to the association to really make it work for its members was really fantastic. And we've got to give a lot of credit really to Karen, to Kim, to Sarah, to Becky, and back in the day Joyce actually, who really did steer that as two very successful events in my tenure. So well done to those guys actually in making that happen. How that will look going forward, again, is going to be good fun in terms of figuring that out. For us as well, making sure, I think, the networking opportunities and bringing value to members has been really super important. And I do regret the fact we didn't have our summer awards, because I'm sure it would have been even bigger and better. But that just means that we can make that happen on a future date in the future. The brand, as far as ISAP, there was quite a lot of conversation running pre the real development of that brand ISAP, and great that Stephen and his group are really the backbone to what we so strongly believe in in the association. Excuse me. So being able to obviously just make sure that we're messaging in, and particularly with all the changes happening now with COVID, to be able to message in the values of what's happening with that accreditation process. For me as well, no association is going to keep everybody happy all of the time, but we like to think that we do a really good job for the majority. And James is the ultimate politician in terms of making sure that he steers his way through all the various challenges that actually are out there within our space. It is a super competitive area, and we all want to do our best for our members. And he's done really well in terms of the association has done some great work actually, and is working towards working more closely with GBTA, with ITM, the work that we're doing obviously with CHPA, with Business Travel Association. Again, it's a drive towards that area of our market that's so important to all of us. The Tourism Alliance, again, and trying to just glean some more influence over UK hospitality, particularly in these challenging periods. It's really important that our voice is heard as much as it possibly can be. So I think also what was always very key is making sure we've got some good checks and balances as far as the association is concerned. Again, that's been very well managed by James and the team. So we are in a good place. There is a little bit of a pot in terms of an emergency pot. So Evelyn can feel reassured that financially it is going to be challenging, but there is a little bit of a bunce to call upon should the need arise. And finally, really a massive thank you to the members, all of the fantastic members that make up the association. We really are so unique. It's a small association, but we certainly punch a good put a good fight in terms of pulling our weight, I think, as far as that goes. There is not an awful lot amount of cash available, but I think James and the team have really demonstrated during this COVID period how well he can message in with the team in terms of really supporting members as much as possible. And the membership themselves, those guys participating in, whether it be the advisory group, the teams that make up the treasury group, a massive thank you on my behalf. And I know Evelyn will get the support of all of the respective members involved to say thank you so much for all the energy and time that people have dedicated to the association. For me, it's been a really, really pleasurable experience. I'm sure Evelyn will do a much, much better job going forward, so you can really feel assured that you're in extremely safe hands. James and his group and his team are absolute diehards for the very benefits of all that we can bring together for the association. It's likely to be a little bit challenging, but yeah, rest assured everyone is working towards making the best job as possible out of this situation now. So yeah, back to you, James.
Thanks, Doug. I know I appreciate everything that you've done to help us and me personally over the last 18 months. It's been more than demanding, certainly the last 5 or 6 months of the uncertainties we're going through. So a personal thank you from me. And Evelyn, our first woman chair, joining us from September 1. What are your thoughts in this period where you're about to take over the lead position within the association moving into this year ahead? What are your thoughts about that?
First of all, I just want to say to Doug that, yeah, he's been an excellent chair, and I suppose he's handing over a difficult baton to me because I have to continue the good steer that he did during his tenure of 2 years. He did an excellent job, and I will try and keep the good work that he's done going for the association and to support you, James, and the team. I suppose an association, first and foremost, what is it without its members? So the members are key. And the growth, the maintaining the membership and growing the membership and the business partners are key for the association. And I think, James, you know, we've always talked about it. It's all about return on investment and value for the members. The members are part of the association to get the value, to get the return on investment and help keep their businesses profitable. And I suppose the key for us, and I know you're focusing in on that, this is promoting the advantages of the extended stay, you know, especially in these times. There's a huge opportunity here in a crisis, in that the extended stay is definitely a preferred option now for the corporate traveller, even for the leisure traveller, for the project workers, etc., because you've got your own space, you've got your own facilities, you can cook, you don't need to go out, you can do your laundry in the apartments, etc. So I think that has to be the focus, and really, you know, making sure that out there in the public, extended stay is the safer option. We're also seeing that the extended stay is outperforming the hotel market at the moment with the data we're seeing from STR, etc. So there's no doubt that people are already, if they haven't been clicked onto before, are now clicked onto the fact that extended stay offers the safer, best value, most flexible arrangement for the corporate traveller when the corporate traveller comes back. And then just one thing I just want to say in terms of members, we saw very encouraging signs during the pandemic, James, where you saw greater interaction from the members, greater involvement from the members. And I think we need to just keep that going, you know, keep the members involved, keep the members telling the association what they need from us, and being interactive with the membership. So that's a key thing for me. And that leads on to our accreditation. You know, you've been banging this drum, James, you and Steve Martin, for the last number of years about the importance of accreditation, the importance of the ISAP accreditation. But now it's very prevalent because, you know, you're going to have the corporate buyer looking for the hygiene stamp, looking for that badge. And I was watching an interview you had with Steve Hampton from Synergy Global Housing last week, or I don't know when the interview was done, but I was watching it, and he was talking about where they had brought 100 corporate travel buyers into a forum, and they were all talking about less noise, more proof. And that's exactly what ISAP is about. It's the Stay with Confidence badge, which says, you know, it's the extra element onto what ISAP had in their accreditation program before, which says, you know, we're doing all the sanitization, we're all the PPE, everything we need to do to pass the COVID protocols. So this is a real opportunity. And, you know, the businesses at the moment are in a little bit of a vacuum whereby the corporate traveller hasn't really come back yet to travelling. You know, the international traveller isn't coming into London, etc. But that's going to happen pretty soon, we hope. And that's when really this accreditation will really be looked for. So huge opportunity there, James, I think, for the association, which you know. And that leads on into the buyers forum, which I know Kim Ashmore is heading up. Where, you know, we're going to be bringing corporate buyers in to meet with the members. And again, they're going to be looking for that. They're going to be looking for members who are accredited. Can we do business with you? It's going to be part of the RFPs going forward. So I think, you know, the association and ISAP are probably a little bit ahead of their time, because this is where it's really now going to be so important. Networking, I know Doug talked about the conference and about, you know, networking that went on during his chair. And I think we've all seen in the past how important the networking is for the members. You know, the business meeting in September, which was always very well attended, the conferences, the awards. So I think members are missing that now. I know you've been carrying on online networking during the whole pandemic, and you're continuing to do that, James, which was very well attended, and you got great feedback. So I think that the challenge now is, how do we bring the members together, if it's not together in a room, to online? And I know you and Karen and your team are working on that. And then, of course, Global Association of Service Departments is always going to be the focus, and really bringing that together and getting like-minded trade bodies and associations working together to open up the world for our members, to share the same challenges and to help each other, you know, get through what is going to be a challenging time. So hurdles going forward, there will be hurdles. It is going to be a difficult year. There's no doubt about that. But again, as I say, there's huge opportunities in that. I think one of the hurdles which Doug talked about is the checks and balances. And again, I want to continue on with that in terms of making sure the association with you, James, is a viable association. It's all about keeping the association afloat and keeping the association in profit. The other hurdle, of course, is how quickly the economy can recover and the survival of our members. You know, we're all at this moment of time as members getting through what is an unbelievable time and coming out the other end. And I think as members of the association, we can work together and help each other kind of survive this and see the bigger picture and move forward. So yeah, it's going to be a tricky and challenging year, but I think as an association, we're in it together. And I know, James, you and your team are really going to be working hard to make sure that all the members, you know, get the value out of the association, and we move forward out of this challenging times. But yeah, looking forward to working with you and the team.
Well, thank you, Evelyn, and Doug. Thank you very much. I mean, it's been a really challenging period, but we are definitely in a better place. I'm very excited, as are the team, for the opportunities that are ahead. We are totally committed to get this to the next place that it needs to. You've heard me talk about that for the last, goodness, nearly 8 years now, that we are making a difference. People are hearing what we're saying. Certainly the buying community who are looking for those assurances that you talked about, Evelyn, just a second ago. We've been talking about now for so long. So we know we're on track. We're here for our members. We're open for feedback from our members. Anyone listening to this that has an opinion, please, we encourage you to get in touch with us and talk to us about it. So it's going to be an interesting time. There will be some changes. We will be doing things differently. But we have to adapt to the challenges that we are experiencing at the moment. So Doug, thank you sincerely for everything you've done to help us and the association and our members for the last, well, it's more than 18 months because you've been on the advisory board for much longer than that as well. You're going to be around for the next year, which is great. And Evelyn, again, thank you to you for all of your support to date and the time we've got together over the next year or so. So very much.
Look forward to it. And thank you, Doug. Thank you, James.
Yeah. Well done, Evelyn. Yeah. Good luck to all that.
Thank you.